and I felt like I disappointed them. Second time I gave birth, second born, I was not even 21 years then. I was not even married. It was not easy. My pastor, then when they came back from Kimberley, just around when they entered Polokwane, they had an accident. Unfortunately, she died with the husband, the younger sister, and the daughter. A week before our wedding day. Greetings in the name of Jesus. My name is Brenda Mei. I am 37 years old. I grew up in Limpopo in a small town called Bochum. I am married to Victor Mei. I've got 2 kids, Junior and Angel. I grew up in a family, I was raised by my mother as a single mother, and my mother is not a learned somebody. Growing up for me was not easy. And what I've learned in life is that I need to push. I was very much passionate in learning or in studying. Yes. So growing up for me was not easy. The time it started when I was supposed to go to sub A, then it was sub A, we did not have grades. I was supposed to start my sub A in 1991 at the age of 4, at the age of 5, I think, I don't know. But I was supposed to start my sub A in 1991. Then, back then, they will tell you that your mother did not pay a building fee. So before you can pay a building fee, you're not allowed to enter the school, and it was a local school and it was the closest. Then I had to wait for that year because my mother could not afford even that 7 rand then. Then the following year, it was 1992. I went back there. I was living with my grandmother. My mother was in Gauteng, was looking for a job. My grandmother take me back, the same story. I waited then until standard 5. That is what then it is grade 7 now. Yes. Then we continue. I'm supposed to go to grade 8, 2000. Remember, I did not have any knowledge of what is this thing they were calling it, period pains. I did not know what is period pain, but I had a knowledge of when you reach this stage, you are going to see your periods. Then I was supposed to go to grade 8. I started to feel sick. Whenever my first period came, when I was supposed to go, first day I was supposed to go to standard 8. I would feel sick, like feeling sick, and we did not understand. They will take me, my grandmother will take me to church, and they will just find nothing. Then I did not know that there is these things called period pains. So until every month I would go through that, and it was very much painful because I cannot see, I cannot walk, I cannot do anything. I would just sit down and cry. But at the same time, the things were busy, the period were busy. Then until I tell my grandmother that it was after 3 months, I cannot go to school. My peers, I was 3 years behind. My peers then are doing grade, I was supposed to do grade 8, 9, 10, 11. Then when they are doing grade 11 then. Then another year, it was a break. Then grade 8. Then the following year, I had to go to grade 8, going back to school. When I'm supposed to go to grade 8 again, it's a high school then, it's no longer a primary school. Then they said, no, your mother did not pay for building fee. You cannot come to this school. You have to go somewhere, or let your mother pay first. Then my mother could not afford. By then, I think it was 30 rand. She could not afford, because the little that she get, she must buy uniform, she must pay school fees. And also I have my siblings, they must also pay school fees she cannot afford. I had to go to another school that is outside my village. It's a long, I had to walk an hour for me to get there. It was not safe as well, but at least we were in a group. We were not few, we were a group of 10 to 15 then. At least by then it was safe, and we were I didn't know, I think I was 15 years then. Then I did my grade 8 then. Then grade 9 I came back to my local school because it was safe, it was near. At least at break time we'll come back. Back then we did not have feeding scheme. At break time you find yourself that you don't have the pocket money to buy. I cannot even take a lunch because whatever we eat in the evening we're going to finish, and my grandmother must try something and cook for us to come back at break time at 11 and eat. But because while I was traveling that I cannot come back for break, and it was not easy. You find myself that I'll be eating Sadiki jamaban, then I will come back and eat again in the afternoon after school, and it will be then around 3 because I have to travel after 2 hours after school. It will be 2:30, then I have to travel until 3:30, come back home and eat. I'll be eating my breakfast, lunch at the same time. So I continue. I came back for my grade 9 at my local school. Coming back then, they accepted me because they no longer check the books that you are now, because you are in grade 2. I mean in the second level of the secondary school. They're no longer checking the books that your mother is owing them or what. You'll just proceed to the next level as long as you have a report and transfer letter. Then I did my grade 9. While I was in my grade 9, and I was a very nice girl at home, they trusted me, and I started to go to a Christian churches. I was very much quiet. I was not going out. I was that girl who will always be at home, going out, that I will be going out when I was going to church or to school. Grade 9, I fell pregnant, my firstborn. I fell pregnant, then I pushed, and it was very much embarrassing. Then I was 16, very much embarrassing that I fell pregnant at my age. But I pushed, I went back to school until I finished my I write my grade 9 exam. Before I gave birth in October. The exams were starting in November, and I was doing grade 9. Then when the exam started, I put the baby aside, then continue with my exam. Then I passed my exams very well. Then following year, I was supposed to be doing grade 11. It was 2002, I think. Yeah, I think it was 2002. My mother cannot be able to take care of my son because she's struggling to find something to feed us. Then I had to drop out. I had to wait. Remember, 4th year behind. Now my peers are already in tertiary. Then I was supposed to go to grade 11. Then I continued. For that year, 2002, I dropped out. I took care of my son, took care of him. Then later, I spoke to my mother that I had to apologize to her and my grandmother. God, if you can just take care of him, I will make you the proudest. I'll work hard to take you out of the situation. Then they agreed. My grandmother said, no, I'll take care of him while you are, just those few hours while you are at school. Then that was the agreement. I had to go back to school. The following year, grade 10. When I get there, I went there 2 weeks late. Then they said, no, the registration are already closed. You are not allowed. You'll come back next year. Then I felt like, no, maybe I'm not suitable to, I'm not the right person to study. But deep down in my heart, I like school. I like it very, very much, like from the bottom of my heart. So I went back to the school, that school that I did grade standard 8. I went back there. Then I went to plead with them that please take me. You know, I'm a hard worker. I'm not going to disappoint you. I told them my story. They accepted me. Later, after 2 weeks, they said, no, we're not supposed to take you. Please go back to your school, because when you were with us in grade 8, last year you were not with us. If you are going to continue with us, it means you have to go back to grade 9. Then I was supposed to do grade 10. Then I said, no, I cannot go back to grade 9 because this is my report. I passed my grade 9. I did very well. Then I went back home. A month, we go back. Then it was almost 6 weeks after the schools were open. Then one of the neighbors came to my house, talked to my grandmother. Why is she at home? Why are you doing this to her? Then they explained. The neighbor said, no, let's go. I'll talk to the principal at school. I'll also talk to the SGB. They have to take her because she passed the grade 9 there and you explained the story. No problem. And fortunately then, we went back to school. That is where they accepted me. Then they said, we are going to check her performance for the first term. If she's not doing well, it means we are not going to continue. It was like provisional admission. They did not really admitted me. It was under the condition that if I perform well, then we'll continue, because according to them, it was not allowed for them to take me after such long time because the registration were also closed. Then I continued, then I had to work hard. There was one of the teachers was a pastor. Then he introduced, what do we call it, the prayers at school, at LRC. He introduced it. After introducing it, I joined him. I joined the group. Joining that group, one day they called the people to be saved. And then I said, I'm going to join it. That is where I started to enter in a Christian house. I joined them, then I became born again. I worked hard, and it was then I started to learn how to trust God. They teach us how to pray, those kind of things. Then joining that team was not a waste of time. It was the beginning of a breakthrough, even though things were hard, but God opened. It was the foundation when God started to open doors for me. I was in grade 10. I worked hard. I worked very much hard. Then first term, I was the top learner in grade 10. Then I will continue. Then they were so happy. I was admitted. Life goes on. Grade 10, grade 11. I went to grade 11. Grade 11, we register, then things go well. First month, second month, third month, I fell pregnant again. Then grade 11, I fell pregnant. They said, because you are pregnant. That is when, that time, most of the learners or students were giving birth at school. That is where they started to introduce. When a learner is pregnant, they must bring somebody, a guardian or a mother or a parent must come to school and take care of her. If anything happens, she's going to be responsible, or she will take care of her. Then my mother cannot take care of me, and my grandmother cannot take care of me as well because she was then very much old. Then I told them that no, I'm not going to give birth now. I'm due in January. Please bear with me until November after the exams. I'm not going. I also showed them my clinic card that this is my due date. I'm going to give birth then. I was going to give birth in the following year, January. So when so I finished my grade 11 because they saw my clinic card that yes, she's going to give birth in 3 months. Then November we wrote the exams. Then I went back home. Then I'm supposed to get, the following year, 2005, I'm supposed to do my grade 11. Doing grade 11, grade 12, doing my grade 12. Then it was on the 12th of January 2005. We are supposed to open the school on the 12th of January 2005. Unfortunately, or I don't know if I could say fortunately or unfortunately, I gave birth on the same day that the school were reopening. And I had to go back to the hospital. Giving birth, you cannot come back at the same day because you are like a sick person. Then they discharged me on the 12th, 14th, it was Friday. I came back home. Then knowing that, I told my grandmother, please go to school. Tell them that I gave birth. Bear with me, I'll come back to school on Monday to register. You know, in grade 12, the school is no longer registering us, but the people from the Department of Education must come back and register us. And if you miss that time, then it means you are not a grade 12, because you know, at your grade 12, it's a national thing. Whatever we are writing, it's national. So my grandmother went there. It was Thursday. She went back. She went to school. I remember the teachers were in a meeting. My grandmother, she just, Coco, I'm here on behalf of my grandchild. She gave birth yesterday. She cannot come to school, but I assure you that she's coming back to school on Monday. My apology. The teacher just laughed and said, it's okay, Gogo. Okay, let her come back to school on Monday. Then my grandmother was very much happy. She went back home. They phoned me that, no, go school and things are okay. You may relax. Then I came back home, and on Friday, I was very much weak. You know, after giving birth, it's not easy for a person to walk for the distance. But I had to. I came back Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I woke up preparing my school uniform. Where is what, preparing everything. And the school was not far, but it was not suitable, or I was not fit to walk for that distance. The Department of Education people were coming that second week. I'll come out home. The distance from school, it was not far. But for me, it was far because I had to walk slow. You know, after giving birth, you are sick. You are not strong. You are very much weak. But I had to, and it was life-threatening for me. I was not supposed to do that education. I was supposed to be relaxing. Then Monday morning, I woke up and I go to school 1.5 hours before because I had to walk slow, rest if I can. I walk then. I just go to grade 12. I cannot go to assembly. I just go to the grade 12 class knowing that this is like the class that they are dealing, or they are specializing my stream, make it science. I just went there, then sit down, they will wait, they will come back from assembly, then they will meet me there. Then I call the principal that, no, I'm here, but I'm not okay, I'm sick. And then he said, it's okay, Monday, Tuesday. I'm not sure when the Department of Education, I don't know when did we do that, but it was that week. After registration, I must go. After school, I felt that, no, I'm not okay. No, my body is like, I'm not okay. when I go to the bathroom doing number one, the number one was blue. It's supposed to be yellowish or pure, but it was blue. Then I started to worry. I can no longer walk. Then they took me to that thing. When I told my grandmother, it was very much serious because I cannot walk. I cannot walk. Remember the story of my period pain then? It stopped after 3 years because one of our neighbors advised us that this person was struggling from period pain. Please assist her, energetic contraceptives. It will stop that pain. Then I took the contraceptives. I had to go to the clinic every month. And by then, I just stopped. That is where I fell pregnant first time and I fell pregnant for the second time. By then, those period pains, they stopped. My life was normal. Then back to after giving birth, that is where I started to feel sick because I think my body, they took me back to the clinic. At the clinic, they said, no, we cannot be able to help. Let's transfer her to the hospital. So after coming back after being discharged from hospital, I'll call the principal. Like, principal, I'm still not okay to come back to school. But if it's okay with you, I may study while I'm at home. But at least give me this week, then next week Monday I'll come back. Then by then I was feeling much better. And the doctor said, no, what you did, it was very, very much dangerous for you. You were not supposed to do that because after giving birth, your body is very much weak. You are supposed to calm or relax for your body to come back. So, but then they discharged me, they gave me the medication. Then I said, no, I'm not going to risk that again. I have to speak with him, my principal, the lady, Mr. Mashile. She understood, he understood. Then I was happy. I stayed at home. After a week, I went back home. Then, Mama, the second born. So I'm going back to school and full time, you're not going to see me. So what do we do? And I felt like I disappointed them. Second time I gave birth, second born, I was not even 21 years then. I was not even married. It was not easy. Okay, I saw that really I disappointed my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother was very much hopeful. And she loved me like I was number one. Mamrata at home. And I disappointed her. But I sat down that, okay, my mother is taking, remember the first one? Now Udira, the first son, the firstborn, the firstborn, Udira, go crèche, not preschool. By then I get a very credit grant. At least I could manage to pay go crèche, not preschool. Then the other one go. But my mother said, no, let me just take her. Bamuchia for that year, grade 12. Ersali busy grade 12. My mother, Alwala. I was busy in grade 12 then. By then I was happy, things were going well. I was passing and now I'm that person. I create friendship in 1 second. I was a friend to all teachers because I know that if I can be close to them, they are going to help me. And I was not, because when I was a very good person. Remember, I was also a Christian. Then doing my grade 12 was very much easy. And it was very much interesting. The teachers were helping me because I was the one who go to them and seek help. Then they were very much helpful. They helped me. I could not afford to buy some school material, like study guide and textbook, but I had these other teachers, they were helping me, they were buying for me because they saw that I was very much passionate about this they bought me, continued my grade 12 was very much interesting, like I said. My mother, as we continue, she fell sick. She cannot manage to take care of a baby. She cannot manage to go to work because she has to come back home. Then I said, no, if you come back home, it's okay as long as you are taking care of her, of my daughter. Then we agreed with my grandmother. She came back home, then we stayed together. I was studying, I studied. Remember, I was the only person. My family is my grandfather had 13 kids. It was 3 ladies and the rest were men. And all these men, they had children, and my mother, the sisters to my mother, we were the family of, we were many. I was the only person, or the first person, out of my cousins, my brothers, and others. I was the first person to be in grade 12. I'm not saying to pass grade 12, at least to be in grade 12. I was the first person. Then I pushed. I passed my grade 12. By then, the symbols EM. It's merit, exemption, those kind of things. I passed this. If I can translate it to today's language, I will say I passed in bachelor. My results were very much. It was excellent result. Then life begins. I remember my dreams did not end. Now, when I dream, I said, I did not say I want to end in grade 12. I said I want to see myself there. Being called somebody, not just Brenda. After my grade 12, it was 2005. 2000 results came back in, I think it was the 30 December 2005. 2006, I went to the people, and I'll just say, no, I know, not necessarily mean that I was undermining people, but I know that this lady, our background is almost the same, and she's in tertiary. Let me go and find the advice. Remember, I come from a not learned family. I'm the first person to pass matric. So they saw that it's an achievement. You are very much educated. And I just thought, I'm just studying. I was praying. God, every time I would confess, now this is where I want to see myself. I remember one day I was seeing this big truck was written something transport. This thing entered my heart that I want to see myself one day owning this kind of trucks. Like, I was very much interested in transport industry, But remember, I don't even have 100 rand or 10 rand for a fare or for a taxi to take me here to at least FET. I did not have. Then I spoke to the lady I was schooling with. Remember, I was the same age with her. Marina completed her studies because now there was so many delays. I asked her, my dear, who funded you? It is not going to be easy. Just forget about it. You are not going to get anything. And that was, I felt so discouraged. Then I said, no, it's okay. January, but they go back to Gauteng. Then I take a taxi. Then the little that I have, then I'm taking a taxi. I'm going to Joburg. I'm going to look for a job. But when I get there, I could not familiarize with the lifestyle that was the people was living there. Maybe I'm too much rural because I grew up in a rural area. Then comparing my life, life in Gauteng is very much fast. Little did I know that God did not want me to be there. God actually wanted me back then in Limpopo. I pushed 6 January until August. I remember on the 1st of August, we were busy. I get to school because I cannot afford. Somebody told me that, no, you cannot afford. Tertiary is very much expensive. Look at your mother. You have your mother and he's not working, she's not working, she's at home. She cannot even afford you. How can she afford? And I trusted that lady. I went to Gauteng. Toma will send her my CVs. Hey, I think I did not even, no one had ever called me for interview. August, this thing, no, nah. I want to go back home because this thing, I'm struggling. I'll end up doing things that I don't want to or that I don't like because I'll be doing it because I want to eat at the end of the day. Then I remember it was the last day, the 1st of August 2006. I went to Midrand with my friend, Rome Market. It was a day before, the last day of July. In this restaurant. This guy took our CVs, then said, no, I'll definitely call you tomorrow. Just be ready to start working. I was so excited that, finally I'm going to work. Then the guy, on the 1st of August morning, he phoned us. Come, hurry, come to work. You are employed. We did not go to the interview. How I am lucky. Good, this is my breakthrough. Yeah. We went there. The guy was packing outside the shop, the mall. I started to work. His car was full of alcohol. No, where are we going? I don't know, you are going to my restaurant. My friend, the lady that I was working with, when you are going to be my PA, and when you help in the restaurant, but you are going to be the manager. How? I don't even have experience, but I took his word. Then I said, I was very much talkative. I was asking questions because I wanted to understand what is happening. So where are we going from here? Because your shop is here. No, we are going, then I'm going to take, I left my other document. I want you to sign the contract. When we get there, we just pack a garage, more filling station, up an hour. Busy communicator using a foreign language, communicating with the guy. And I started to worry, it's almost 11, late. Are you hungry? Do you want some food? Yes. He went, got us, then we ate. Then we went to, he drove, I go, Konto, met with his friend, I picked 2 ladies, 2 men. Yena, she wanted, the lady, our boss, wanted to be closer to my friend, and now I'm supposed to be closer to his friend. Then I was so confused. Honey, when are we going to work? When are we going to work? Because it's been like 4 hours. No, don't worry, we're still drawing your contract. You know, apparently now we are a big company. We cannot hire you or we cannot employ you without signing the contract. We're still busy with it. Let's just enjoy ourselves now. This is the beer, just drink. I'm your boss, don't worry. And I said, no, I don't drink beer. I cannot do that. Because now what I know is I'm supposed to be at work. So they don't understand our language, those guys. Our language is separate. Kabucha, my friend, no. What's working? Archabe. I just said Archabe. My friend Aranar, when I okay, go out first, then I'll follow you. I left my shoes there. I asked the guy, okay, may I please go to the bathroom outside? No, it's okay. I left my shoes. I ran because I understood what is going to happen. They offered us beer. It's 2 by 2. We are in a house. No more. We are not going to be, people are not going to take us serious at the end of the day if anything happens. So the guy said, I ran, but I was not free because I left my friend. What if Lena, she left his shoes behind? We ran. Then we just saw a taxi that the guy was beep, beep. Then we just enter into that taxi, and the guy saw us that no, these people are running away from something. He asked us, we explained to him that no, this is the situation. We don't trust those guys. We think they are planning something that is not going to be pleasing at the end of the day. No, he said, no, it's okay. Let me take you wherever you go. Then you'll just pay me. Gorena, he was going this side. Then he took us to our home. Then we paid him and we thanked him. I mean, I cannot still remember what was supposed to be taken there. I took a bus. While I was in town, Kopolokwane, I saw an advert. Just saw an advert. Bursary application. I'm qualifying, bachelor, blah, 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 my subject, I'm qualifying. Now I'm going. I walk to the department itself. I walk to the Department of Transport and ask them. They referred me to the relevant people, to the HRD department. I talked to the lady and said, no, we are still open. These are the requirements. You may bring your documents. The closing date was just around. But you may bring your document tomorrow. Then if you are successful, then we will call you. It was November then, remember? I went back. I had to talk my grandmother, please give me at least this money. I have to go back to Polokwane and apply this. I feel it. My grandmother went back to the neighbors, asked the money. She gave me, then I went back then. What I liked, they wanted the bursary was taking the people, their background. They were not just taking anyone. If your background it's better, they were not going to. That what gave me a faith that I'm going to be employed, or I'm going to be awarded this bursary because I qualify 100%, my background, my results and everything. Remember age yak, but I was almost a year for me not to qualify. It's 2006 I had KKPA. Now I'm 5 years behind. My PS Baberek. 5 years, 6 years. Baberek. Okay. I applied for that bursary. Life goes on. December, January, Baswabuchi. The universities, people are going up and down. I was so hurt. I was like, no, maybe I was not called for this. One day, I was supposed to, then I just said, no, let me just register. I spoke to my mother and grandmother, let me just register a computer. It's 2 weeks, I think it was 400 rand. I will just take my children's grant, then register, then I'll go and work somewhere. I registered it. 2 days after, I received a call. I'm this and that from the Department of Transport. We are pleased to inform you that you are awarded that bursary you have applied. It was like a dream come true. That was the beginning of my, I never been happy like that. I was very much happy. Then they gave me what to do. They told me what to do. On Monday, go to this university. Then, because I was supposed to go to the department, they gave me a letter of a bursary for them to register me. Things go well. The schools were supposed to open in February. Then I was supposed to leave. I got everything, registration is done, accommodation. Then I went back home. Then Sunday, I'm supposed to go to school, pack my bag Saturday and everything. Sunday, waking up, I cannot see. That thing came back. I don't see, I cannot walk. I was vomiting, period pain. All of it, a sudden, they just came back. How? I called my grandmother, my mother, and at least by then I was, I'm no longer going to church, but I knew that I must pray in those kind of situations. But I believe that for me, I opened a door for an enemy to enter into my life, because a day before or an hours before going to university. Remember, I've been crying to go to university for all my life. But 2 hours before I was supposed to take a taxi to school, I cannot see, I cannot walk, I vomit. I was like a sick person. I was crying, but what is happening? Then the guy next door, they came to me, Badira, because the pain will start here. It's like somebody is pulling my legs, because that's why I cannot walk. It's like somebody's pulling my leg. So they thought, no, maybe ke like maoto. Batla bandirela dilo tshela ka hata, then bang hatisha, nothing happened. But at the same time, because that pain was very much severe, I will take some painkillers, then I'll feel better. Then first day, it means I can no longer go to school because I'm sick. But why let's go long, why university? So on Monday, they were supposed to, first week, we were supposed to start with orientation. I cannot go, I'm sick. Then I called one of my friends, may you please go to our department and tell our HOD, tell him my story, but I'm coming. At least, whenever this thing happens, I must go to the clinic, they must give me the medication until I get better, until the period deferred. 3 to 7 days. Otherwise, I can do nothing. I'll just be a sick person laying on the bed. Yeah, then after that, after 5 days, the following Sunday, 7 days behind, but the orientation, then the lesson the following week. I'll go there, but because I had a friend, she will just orientate me. This is why orientation are not very much at this way. Yes, we continue with our studies. Then I completed my degree with on record time. But during then, I was sick there and there. Those things were coming every month, and I was sick. Then we continue. I completed my studies. Then the Department of Transport said they will give us a 3-year contract. After a 3-year contract, they are going to employ us permanent. Then said, if you want to go to outside, you are going to be penalized for the money that they took you to school. Or you just save your 3 years, or after 3 years you go wherever you want to go. Then I said, no, let me just be with them. I did not apply for any job, because I knew that after 3 years, they are going to take me permanent. The second year, they called us. We were, I think, 6 in the same office, Johannesburg. The second year, they called us, no, we can no longer absorb you. The government is having a problem here, so it means, no, the end of second year, the end of second year. Yeah, that was a problem. That was a challenge. Then we had to start Katoma apply, which is not easy. The Limpopo government under administration. Fortunately, these 5 of my colleagues that I was employed in contract with, they applied and they were all absorbed. They were all employed permanently to the different companies outside the provinces and in different departments. Then contract ends. 2013, February, I had to go home. I was the only person going back home. These 5 were permanently employed with big posts. I had to go home. Going back home was not easy. So I had to start a life, that life. I went back home after there. I waited. I remember telling myself, I was no longer going back to church. I remember my stuff, preparing myself to go home, telling myself that I'm going to start a new life. I need God more than before. God captured my weight, took my weight. Then starting a new life, I thought, I'm going to start a new life, but it was the worst, but the beginning of the good things. I went back then, 23 months I was not employed. I was applying, going to interview almost every week, but there was no luck. I prayed, but fortunately because I was in Christ, or Christ is in me, and then I had peace. even though I did not have money, but I had peace because God was in me. Christ is in me then, or should I say Christ was in me, because even though now he's in me, I had peace. Then I continued that. I said, no, people are giving at church. Now let me give, because I don't have money. Let me give with my hand. I started working in the house of God. I started cleaning the church and doing those other things. Then that is where I was becoming to be closer to my pastor. My pastor was a female person. Then she invited me to stay at home with her. We stayed together for that 23 months. Then I got a job after 23 months, 2015. Then God answered at the end of the day. 23 months I went I was permanently employed. Then after a year, 2016, 2017, my husband proposed. It was 2017, right? He proposed. Then remember, now we are Christians. We do not date per se. We went through the courtship process. My pastor, I was like a daughter to her, because I was living with her, or I was staying with her at home. We went through the process of courtship, counseling, premarital counseling. Then we set the date, Batisha Mahadi, and those kind of things. We were Rayemi Shwaka, October 2017. Then we already had a date, the wedding, 2017. On the wedding date, my pastor, remember, my pastor, let's choose this date. Not enough money for a big wedding. But no, don't worry, I will help you there and there. You are like my daughter. Then I said, no, it's okay. Then okay, on the 24th of December, we will return the invitation and stuff. Then my pastor was saying, no, don't worry, MC, I'm going to find MC, everything. When I just pay for a dress and food at home, everything I'm going to fund. Do not worry about that. On the 17th, on the 16th, my pastor and the family, they had a funeral called Kimberly. On the way, by Thursday, Babuluka Saturday. Then they came back at 17th. December 2017, a week before our wedding day. After we were busy, they were supposed to go with my husband. Was supposed to drive them. Then they said, I went to Mashile because we were busy with the wedding preparation. At Mashile, then we left behind my pastor. Then when they came back from Kimberley, just around when they entered Polokwane, they had an accident. Unfortunately, she died with the husband, the younger sister, and the daughter. A week before our wedding day. Remember, she was supposed to fund me. Everything with the MC, I'm going to surprise you with the MC. Everything, like it was a mess. Oh my God, then I said, no, I'm stopping everything. I'm no longer continuing with the wedding. The pastors will just bless me, and I'll go to my in-laws. Like, that is how we do things. But my bishop said, no, now we are saved. We must show the world that we are strong. We have to continue with the wedding. I can say it was sad. I was crying. I was like, no, this thing maybe they are not meant for me. But at least they prayed for us. Our bishop, Bari, counselor, then Babuleji, the word of God that strengthened us. Then at the end of the day, we got married. Then it was not easy because we were in the church that my pastor was supposed to be there. It was supposed to be the most happiest day, but knowing that it was not easy. But life has to continue. We have to move on. Then continuing, immediately when I entered Kara marriage, those things, they brought pain. They started to be worse. We started me and my husband plan a family. Then after, let's just enjoy ourselves. After this, we'll start a family. Remember, I have 2 kids. We want to at least have 4. I had kids before I got married. But when I get married, having kid was not easy. So planning, we started to plan family planning. We tried. Then I remember one day I had the signs and the symptoms of pregnancy. I made a home pregnancy. Test number 1 was positive. I went to buy another brand, a different one, was positive. I did not have peace, but I was excited. I just, no, I'm pregnant. I told my pastor I'm pregnant after trying 12 months with no luck. They were very much happy. 3 weeks after, started to bleed. I went to the doctor. Doctor said, no, your pregnancy failed because you have this problem. Your problem is that you have the fibroids. What is that? I did not know. Okay, I went to the first but no, we have to remove those things for you to have a good, healthy pregnancy and your menstruation not to be painful. Okay, I went to the first procedure. After the first procedure, after a month, going back to my normal life, the period pains, they continued. Then I just said, no, maybe it's still early. After a year, I went to the doctor. I was feeling the same. I had the signs of pregnancy. I went to the doctor. Then the doctor confirmed you are pregnant because the scan was saying, no, you have something in you. We took the rapid test. It tested positive. Then I said, doctor, I want to confirm. Let's take blood test. The blood test came back, said you are positive. You are 5 weeks pregnant. Oh, okay. But still, I was excited, but I was not having a peace. I don't know what was the sign. Few weeks again, I started to bleed. The same thing happened. I went back to the doctor. The doctor transferred me to the hospital. How? Again. Then the doctor said, no, when now you have a growth. What is that, doctor? You have a growth, we need to remove it. That is why whenever I went to the procedure, the doctor said, if we remove those things, you are going to be okay. But the same thing happened. The doctor said, no, don't worry, I'll help you. I went back, October 2020. I went back to the doctor. I mean, already at the second procedure. Whenever I did the procedure, it's like I increased the pain. After that, the pain began even worse. This time, even if I take medication, they will just come back. The painkiller, they will just come back. Then I went and the other sister that was married to my younger brother's husband, my husband's younger brother. She told me that there is a doctor, go to her, go to him, she's specialized with this. I went back to the doctor. The doctor said, no, you have endometriosis, those language of the doctors. What is that, doctor? Because I've been hearing these things for a long time. No, you have this, that's why when you go to your period, we have to remove your left tube because your left tube is no longer working. We have to remove it for you to be able to be pregnant. Now I'm no longer interested in pregnancy, but what I want now is for the pain to go away. How can you help me? The doctor said, no, let's go. We went to the third procedure. It's the third doctor. After coming back to the procedure, it's recently, that is 17th January. Then we went back for follow-up. Doctor, unfortunately, the second procedure, but the relay, them batsinje your uterus, bakatile your ovaries, what those kind of things. I cannot really understand the doctor medical language, but now I'll recommend you to do if you really want to have more children, do IVF, or we will, because the second doctor was advising me or remove my womb, because if we can continue to the fibroid, they will end up putting my womb, and it's not safe for me, because doing it most of the time it might threaten, it's life threatening. So the third doctor, no, let's when only endometriosis, the third procedure, it was successful. However, the complication, how your intestine, these other things, we have to remove them. That is where you cannot, it is not going to be possible for you to have more children. But I assure you that the period pains, you no longer experience them. But I will recommend you to do IVF, which is this amount. Then I told myself, if I do IVF, it's like, I'm not discouraging those who are doing it, but it's like I'm buying a baby. How am I going to glorify God after this? Then I said, no, I'm not going to do it. If it is the will of God, I just thank God that, okay, fine, whatever has been in Tswenya since I was 15 years until today I'm 37, it is finished. We were discussing with my husband. I told him that I'm not going. Okay, I told myself first that I'm not going to do that. I have to trust God in this. I'm not going to take this 220,000 for a child, because a child, it's a gift from God. I remember the story of Sarah and Abraham. They had a child at the older age. He's still the same God. Currently, I don't have a child with my husband, but I trust God. I'm not going to do IVF. If you can see me one day being pregnant, just don't know that it's a natural pregnancy. I'm not going to do that. I'm trusting God in this matter, and I know one day I'm going to have a child. I just completed my honors degree in transport economics, and it was not easy because it's a 5-module course, but I had to do it for 7 years. There were so many delays. Like I said, I'm going to graduate soon in May for my honors degree. Currently, I'm waiting for my master's application. I believe God is going to grant me. Then currently, I'm working in the Department of Transport as an administrator. Then it's a permanent job, and I'm serving God as well. Hi, my name is Brenda Mei, and I've been through the most.